When's the last time you told a man about how behind you are, how broke you are, or how lost you're feeling?
Mm.
Hey, welcome to the Barney Code. We're gonna cover all that today, and we're gonna have a great time doing it. Let's get into it. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing well, man. I'm excited to be here for another recording and just get another chance to talk to you, the audience, and here have some great discussions, man.
Okay. How's the week been? I know we were recording a little bit early. I've been traveling, so we needed to record a little bit earlier. So today is what, Friday, one day earlier. Uh, how's your week been?
Man, the week's been pretty good. The weather's been awesome. That's something that you can't complain about, especially in Boston. You never know if it's gonna rain. It's a running joke where it's been raining all on the weekends, but then perfect weather during the week. Like, and it's
Mm.
been happening like many weeks in a row. But this week it did not happen. That kind of made me think, like, you know what, I can't just wait for the weekends to just have my fun. So early in the mornings I'll go play basketball, and so I was able to go do that consistently, whether solo or with people. It's just nice to get out and just stop staring at the four walls. But my week's been pretty good.
Hey, I know the feeling on that, man. You talking about the getting out, especially when you work from home all the time. You want to get out the house. So for me, so I had a great week. It's been a good week, but one of my routine every morning is I get up reasonably early, not 5 a.m. early, and I go to the coffee shop. I go to the coffee shop. I'm there for about 2.5 hours in the morning. Then I'll hit about 2 hours knocking out emails, pre-scheduling out messages. That's the beautiful part, when you work. So I'll like in my Outlook, I'll pre-schedule out my replies to certain things, or if it's something I need to get out, I'll pre-schedule it out. Because I work with people on East Coast time, which they're ahead of us because I'm Central time. But then there's people that I work with that are on the West Coast time, right? So I just pre-schedule it out for their time zone. So and then I'll go to the gym. And so while I'm at the gym, I'm like, it's like things are working. Like people get messages, and they're like, "Hey, what Ken on one today? Ken sending all type of stuff," but it's pre-scheduled. I do the same thing too with the with Teams messages as well. Because when you 100% remote, you still have to treat it like you're present, like you're in person. And so I'll pre-schedule out messages. Good morning, team. How y'all doing? How y'all doing this morning? This is, whatever it is that I want to communicate to the team, but I have it pre-scheduled out, and so that message might go out while I'm at the gym. Yeah, at the gym or whatever. So it looks like Ken is got some movement, got something going. But so a little fun tip there for anybody that's in corporate and you do have flexibility, and you are in a remote environment, or maybe you doing your own thing. That those are some things you can do where that way you're not totally ghosted for and you just MIA. Especially like maybe you had to go work out, then you had to run some errands, and it's like, man, we ain't heard you from like half the day. Where you been? What you doing? Or we've been trying to find you, type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Or even if you like, some people like I'm the type of person. I know some people can relate. Maybe your work, just by nature, you can just knock it out individually, and so I think that's so smart. That's such a good tactic, because to your point, you be wanting, it's not that you don't want to connect with the people and connect with your coworkers, but to your point, just you get caught up in the day to day, like even within the work, like you mess around, you put your head
Fact,
down
fact.
and look up, and it's like, oh, it's 3 o'clock, it's 4 o'clock, like, oh snap, like I started this session at 10 or 11, and and
Yeah.
so that's something that I think that's really smart to like, because you be having those moments like when you're off, like, man, I should ask such and such this, I should ask such and such that. But go ahead and do it. Just schedule it out. That's smart. I'm stealing that.
Yeah. Take it. Take it. All right, let's get into this. Let's start. Let's without further ado, let's get into our first topic. All right, I'm coming in hot. I'm coming in. All right. We do real talk around here. So the first segment, be honest, is there something in your life you quietly decided is too late for you now?
mm.
So what we're just adding some context here. Um, you know how it is being a man, the pressure of uh, accomplishments and making money, or whether you're ambitious and you just want to drive and just be the best that you can be. Sometimes we put pressure on ourselves. I'm not even gonna say unnecessary pressure because it's good to challenge yourself, but then sometimes we put pressure on ourselves with not, and it might be a blind spot to context or perspective. Let me say it that way. I think that's probably the better way I can frame it up. So when you hear that, um, thinking about yourself, what's the timeline you're measuring yourself against right now, and who actually said it?
Man, that's a deep one, man. You really gotta dig down for that one, man. But I think for me, a couple of things come to mind. So one is I'll dive into the more personal one. So for me, just personally, I don't know. I was just wrestling with this the other day. Not this specifically, but I was just wondering, like, because I think in the last episode I think I brought up the fact that like I enjoy and resonate with the concept of being a teacher,
Mm,
and so and that's a majority because that's who has helped me along my path. That's who's pulled me up along my path. Teachers, in different formats, whether whether they're my direct teachers or but just in different ways. And so for me, I don't know. I got caught up in just wondering, like, dang, like, due to my, I wasn't victim. I wasn't delving into the victimhood, but I was just wondering, like, what's my purpose? Like, do I
mm,
become a teacher? Is that my purpose? Am I too, like, maybe I've got what I needed to get. Maybe it's too late for me to, or maybe because of my childhood, or I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I didn't know what to think, and so I was just like, man, like, you just kind of wondering, what does it mean to? At what point do you, invest in yourself versus if you say you're calling us to invest in others? But to me, I think it's about the plane, man. You can't just you got to put on your own oxygen before you try to save everybody else. If you gone, you can't help nobody. That's kind of how I look at it. And the longer you live, and the more that you pour into yourself, the more that you're able to create. And once you're no longer living, because that's I don't want to say it's easy, but that's one way of helping people. The stuff that you do while you're here, but then you mess around and create stuff that's everlasting. Like I'm listening to the Steve Jobs audio book, and it's like, man, like he wasn't perfect, but man, like I'm looking at you through an iPhone right now. So that's all I'm gonna say. But I mean that's on a personal tip. Um, I would just say professionally though, I would just say sales. There hit a point where I was just like, man, I'm going to undergrad I'm in business school. I remember I was studying management, and me and you talked, and you was like, bro, like, management's cool, nothing wrong with management, but you're probably not going to be managing things at 22, 23. And I was like, probably not. So what else can I go study that I enjoy at the school? I studied marketing. Long story short, fast forward, I become an account executive and I burn out. And I'm like, I'm feeling a lot of things. I'm feeling like a quitter, but I'm also feeling like,
mm.
but am I also neglecting my own feelings? Because I'm important too. I have a say in this matter too. I shouldn't just push down my feelings and just, you know what I'm saying? So you got to fight that quitter thing. And so long story short, I got to the point to where I was like, I don't have to look at it as either or, like, oh, it's too late. I gotta up and just go back to school or go to undergrad. I said, no, there's got to be a way that I can leverage all this experience. It's got to be valuable to somebody, but it's only
Yeah.
valuable to somebody if you choose to look at it through that lens.
Mm. What I've learned is our experiences, things that we experience, is our direct experience. And when you get on the other side of it and learn the lesson, move past it, and it's just it's a part of your life, it's a part of your journey. Sometimes in life, there's opportunities to reach back and share that with others. Obviously, everyone journey is a little bit different, but when you reaching back and and sharing wisdom from experience, not theory, there's usually something applicable that a person can one nugget that they can take away and implement to still be meaningful for them, or it might even be transformational in a sense where it's something that you share with someone and it changes everything for them because maybe they had a blind spot or it gave them an aha moment, they had an inspiration, then it and maybe they were blocked mentally trying to figure it out, and then you came at the right time and you're looking, you're like, oh, I've been there, but I'm like, I was there, I remember being there. And so you tell them, and then like for them, it's like, how'd you know that? You say, well, because I did it. And so it's so funny how sometimes some processes rhyme, and it reminds me of uh, universal laws of success. There's some things that happen in our life that can it's almost like a formula that will work no matter who the person is. If you put together the right sequence and actions together. Obviously, one thing that comes up is the climate, the landscape, and so sometimes it is about timing, and so it might for maybe one person it was longer, but this person it was shorter. It happened quicker, but maybe it might take you a little bit longer because of the landscape. But success principles and universal laws, they're just some things that if you do the right things in the right sequence, you will more than likely, there's a high probability. Obviously, there's no guarantees usually, but there's a high probability you're gonna be much better off than when you started. And so that's kind of where my mind goes hearing you talk about that. Um, Putting pressure on ourselves. I'm just kind of reflecting, processing out loud. You went in the direction of school, then you talked about work, and what do you think the pressure was coming from? Like, where do you think the pressure was coming from?
I think I would just say just the pressure of just survival. I think just that mentality of just like I don't know when I look at it now, survival. And the reason I say that is because to your point, it was just pressure. Like it wasn't guided pressure. It wasn't, man, I should become this. It was, man, I just hope I don't graduate and I don't got a job. Man, that's gonna suck.
Mm,
Or man, I'm gonna look crazy if I do X, Y, and Z and I don't got a job. Like, and of course, man, I don't want to. I'm gonna have bills coming up and stuff like that. How I'm gonna pay my bills? Not, it's interesting. We talked deep lately, but I've just been learning like it's two different skill sets. One skill set is defending yourself. The other skill set is how, how do you design your life the way that you want to live it, not surviving from the boogeyman. And so, because you can play, it's like, I mean, I don't know if you've ever had that dream where you're being chased down the hill by like a big ball. Just and if the hill is endless, at some point you either gonna trip, fall, or just get tired and say screw it and just you know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna keep running forever and ever and ever. At some point you gotta click in your mind and say, let me get off of this hill. But if you condition to not ever think that way and just the hill is your life,
right.
I don't know what's gotta happen, but you gotta change it.
Yeah. Where my mind went was the pressures that we navigate, and it's something quietly that where you're like, it's too late. Sometimes you have these added pressures that we put on ourselves, and sometimes you're watching social media and you might see somebody, I don't know, 20 years old, and you're like, man, they killing it. But what you don't realize is just celebrate them. Don't compare yourself to them. And maybe they might be an extreme outlier, but that doesn't mean that it can't be for you too. But sometimes what's in store for you is going to be totally different, and that's okay. And I think a lot of times people see somebody else doing something and then they switch up their whole situation and try to go jump ship and go and do that other thing. And that might not be what's best for you. That might be what's best for them, because you'll jump ship, go pursue the other thing, and you're like, why am I doing this? And,
Yeah.
and you start asking questions and you get in the middle of it and you're like, I don't even like this. Why did I even do this? And then now, to your point, now you facing, dang man, I'm gonna look like a quitter. Now you may be concerned about what people think, and it doesn't matter. Half the time people ain't checking for you like that because they kind of wrapped up in whatever they have going on, whether it be family life, internal thoughts, whatever they have going on. So a lot of times the things that we have playing in our head, it's just in your head. And then sometimes if people are judging you, hey, why you looking at me? Worry about yourself. Do you? Why you worried about what I got going on? I have to be accountable for my life. So I'm gonna pivot and do whatever I feel like I need to do for me. And then you do what you need to do. You got any last things you want to call out?
Nah, man, that's real. Like I definitely experienced that, especially in undergrad. And it's not so much that 'cause, it's not you don't want to blame people for throwing you off your course, but it's the fact of you if you have a lack of direction. Like I remember I had a mentor in undergrad that I saw them going down a certain path. They were a year or two ahead of me, maybe one year ahead of me, and they were going down this path. They got the internship in that specific industry. They got the return offer and all that. So I'm just like, oh, this is the playbook. Let me just follow that. And so rather than me taking the time to really investigate and audit my own like desires and preferences, I'm just like, okay, that looks not I want to say easy, but I see it. Okay, I see that. Like I'm on this hill, like I said, I'm on that cliff, but I see an exit. And instead of thinking, what could my exit be? I'm thinking, no, let me take that exit. And I mess around, I go into the interview. They can probably tell he not really, this is not that you posted, not that everyone's passionate about this, but like, bro, this is the top of the top. You're not interviewing against punks. Like we got to actually cut somebody. Everybody can't make it. And unfortunately, I didn't make it. And not to say that I couldn't cut it out in that industry, but again, my once I got that no, that's how you know you really like something. When you say, okay, let me get another no, let me get two more, let me get five more. I'm really about to make it happen until I get a yes. Versus, nah, actually, I didn't think I want to do that in the first place. Let me go find something else.
You might be. Are you talking yourself out of it?
Right.
And that's the way. And is that the way you coping because you took a L and it didn't feel good? Hey, it's all right to lose. That. Those are some of the best moments. But it doesn't feel like that in the moment. So don't get it twisted. um, all right. So in the comments, drop if you listening in, drop one thing that you've written off as it's too late for me. So just name it. The biggest thing that we're big on is making sure you intellectualize it, making sure you name it. Name the thing. And so drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat, and we engage with you in the chat. Next topic, I want to shift gears and talk about the next topic. This one is interesting and it's very prevalent. If AI could do your job better than you within the next year, who are you without it?
Mm.
Translation. Um, it's specifically for males. We talking about males, but people in general. But for us, we talking about males. So the male, as we continue talking about this, the male identity is disproportionately tied to work, right? And the psychological side of that is uh, it's not the economic side; it's the gap nobody's really talking about. So the question that I have for you is, if your job vanished tomorrow, who are you?
Man, that's deep. How you want me to really answer, or how you want me to answer?
Answer how you feel. This real authentic. It's not scripted.
Now,
I just have questions for to guide us, but.
That's
Yeah.
real, man. Now, because this is real. Because it's funny. You said on the jump ball, you said, who are you without the AI? It got me. You just got me thinking. I'm like, man, like, who are you with the AI? Because if I'm gonna lean in, like, for the fellas, especially if you in what they call us, white collar. If you in white collar, I guarantee you, your boss or your manager or the top of the company has thought, they've either thought, how can we replace the function or enhance the function with AI? I guarantee you, they're not just thinking, AI, what's that? You might need to jump ship if that's what's going on. Like the head of your company is trying to figure out how to leverage AI to help all of us out. And so you need to be doing the same thing, whether on a personal level and on a professional level, like especially on a professional level. And so, man, but to your point about, okay, let's say you lost your job tomorrow. God forbid, but listener, something happens. We lose your role tomorrow. I
Yeah.
think that I think that you need to be leveraging AI yesterday, and not just because I know that's a broad phrase. What does that mean? I'm gonna give two specific use cases real quick that you can already be doing, even with the free plan. You can start documenting receipts using AI. I shouldn't be giving this out. I'm gonna give it out. You can start documenting your receipts with AI. Just talk to it. Tell it what you did. Don't exaggerate and lie, but because they can still call your old company even if it folds. The CEO still is alive, but just give it the receipts, and it can help you format your resume. But more importantly, it can help you. I think a word I heard you use recently. It can help you build out a brag book. Like that's gonna be something that builds your own confidence before you even talk about interviews and all that. That's just gonna have you feeling like, oh, I did that.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Because we go day to day and just, oh man, it's cool to me, but do they care? Does it matter in the real world? But this is gonna be a real way of finding that out, capturing this data and receipts, and then go figuring out the real market value. That's two things I would tell you to go do with AI yesterday.
Okay. Okay. So, from your perspective, I find my spots to give my perspective, but I got a follow up question. Then, and I actually just got another question, but I want to ask this one first, and I want to get your. So, is just adapt used for advice or something people say so they don't have to sit with how big this actually is in terms of AI in the workspace? Um, yeah,
What's that movie? Was it State Prop? I'm taking it back. State Property, when he's a get down and lay down.
that's
Listen,
throwback.
you gonna have
Throwback.
listen. You can theorize all you want, but you gonna either theorize on our side or you gonna theorize underneath us. Is my point. So you got to figure
Mm,
out how to if you really, I don't care if you hate AI, you got to figure out how to hate AI from within the machine, if that makes sense, or running alongside the machine. So we just got to figure it out. And so, and if you mess around and love it, oh man, the opportunities multiply even more. You get a chance to. It's not about AI. What I love about AI is that what I think it's best used for is preparing yourself for communication with real humans, not just talking to AI all day. And so, if it makes you a better communicator, then it's already doing its job.
so ain't gonna lie, the conspiracy theory side in me, it feel like we at some point it's gonna be the machines versus the humans. Um, if you know what I mean, it just I don't know. It just feel like some of these movies that I watched back in the day. It just seems like it's real. Like it seemed like it's trending towards that direction. I remember watching one movie where it was an AI that they was working with, and then the AI created a back door for itself and was like, "Mm-mm, you ain't shutting me off. Mm-mm, I shut you up. Mm-mm, I shut you out." And it protected itself, and then it started going and doing all type of crazy stuff, and then the humans was trying to figure out how to shut it down, and it was creating all type of chaos around the world. Fake news, you know that term, fake news. It was creating like news that you would see, you thinking it's really happening around the world, but it's not happening, and what it was just creating so much problems and chaos. Obviously, it's a movie. It's a movie, so Ken, you talking about a movie? It's not real. But at the same time, you have when you're thinking about things, I just like to think about the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. It don't mean that I'm not gonna participate. But I don't know, man. That's just where my head go. Sometimes I go conspiracy theory, and it's almost this actually is a perfect cue up to my next question because it's AI, and what happens a lot of times is people are outsourcing your thoughts and the critical. If we're not careful, it's gonna come a time where like you don't even think, like you're not even like thinking for yourself, like you can't even like really function without using something outside of yourself. And God designed us to be amazing and creative and all these things. And so yes, there are some. So I just think about it from a holistic standpoint, not from a alarmist standpoint. But I just always, when I'm hearing these leaders, these AI leaders, just paint the most rosiest picture without any of the um governance, like the governance side of it, and like the risk is like, well, the good outweigh the bad, we just gonna do it. Like for
Right.
example, even with the data centers, people don't realize, like with those data centers, I'm not knocking it, but it impacts those local communities. It impacts their water, and it impacts some things. And so these are the things that aren't talked about. So it's just like, it's just the cost of doing business. But guess what? Guess where they be putting those data centers? It don't be in the ritzy areas. It, it be in the kind of lower income typically. Um, and so you like, how convenient is that? you know? So anyway, that's Ken going on his rant, his conspiracy bag. But let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to something tangible and meaningful. I know I'm not the only one to have these thoughts. I'm just living in the world. I'm one man. But here's something before we close that I wanna run by you. So what would it take to build? Uh, what would it take to build an identity that has nothing to do with your paycheck? Because let's be real, people are you studying AI because it's connected to the bag somehow. Like you like now, some people do genuinely like it and they see the use case, but let's be real. Most people are being influenced by the messaging. Hey, you go AI's taking your job. And so what's a normal human thought? Well, let me learn how to use AI so it don't take my job. Or if it do, I'll be positioned for something else. But how do you build an identity that has nothing to do with the check, with the paycheck, with money?
Man, that's I'm gonna say that every time. That's deep, but that's real. Like, cause I mean, I'm wondering, like, should you? But I mean, yeah, of course. Cause in terms of, you're not gonna be, even if getting money is important, but to your point, you might not. There's many ways to skin the cat. Some of you always say you might do different things, and so you don't want to just put all of your character or personality points into that one basket. Like, to your point, you got to develop outside of. I think that the more that you can develop outside of that, probably the more you can return back into that basket. Like, I think it's kind of
Mm.
paradoxical. Like, I think something me and you be talking about is when people are just doing it for the money. Like, you can tell, like, people energy is one of the few things that there's not a lot of people that I feel like can fake energy. Some
Yeah.
people probably can, but it's like Popeyes versus Chick-fil-A. It's not, the difference is the food quality. Yes, there's some difference, but no, they in there teaching energy. Like, yes, ma'am. Like, no, it's my pleasure. Not, we out. What you want?
That's
Like.
different. That's different.
So it's different. It make the chicken taste a little better. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's real.
Yeah. So that building your confidence up, your self worth, and all those things. Because what it makes me think about is life. Well, knock on wood, life can be long. Um, it seems like it go by quick though, but but life can be long, and a part of the journey is you may change disciplines. You will change interests. And if your identity is tied up to I'm this, and then when this is no longer there, who are you? Because when you were that, you was driving impact, doing great things. You was getting kudos. You the man. You the woman. In this case, we talking about men, so you the man. And then it's like it goes away, and then you start having thoughts of deleting yourself just because you feel like you have nothing. And that's a real thing with men. That's a real thing. It's a real thing with people, but specifically with men, especially how wrapped up we are with our identities and money.
That's real. And and it's so intoxicating, I think, because you just know, like you got this feeling like I just know once I got that figured out, it's all figured out. Everything is just
Fact.
this is
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
hardest thing to do. And once I got that, oh man, I'm set. Mm.
No, it's an infinite game. And what I'm getting at is the goalposts. We always move the goalposts. So you hit this one target and you thinking like that's gonna be everything for me. Then you hit that target. Then it's like, okay, what's the next like? And then you automatically looking for to reset. And I just think that we were designed that way to just always be pursuing something, as long as it's meaningful for you. You mentioned purpose earlier. I think that we don't explore that often enough. We allow society to tell us what our purpose should be or what skill sets we should go down or what. And some people say screw your passion, your purpose. And so it's just so much mixed up information out there. And so to your point, I don't even think it's you can't blame anyone else for you watching, you pocket watching, or you watching what they doing and them being great and good at what they do, and then you like, I want to do that, and then you go over there and do that, and that does not even align with what's important to you, your mission. It doesn't align with your natural wiring, like what you do well naturally, and then like that way it can give you unfair advantage with something that you bring to the table that you do effortlessly, and then it's just sharpening it up. You add some skills with it, and you a bad boy, bad girl. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like you 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 watching Hulk be the Hulk, but you Iron Man. But you get my point. So you don't even recognize. Let me reverse it because me and you was talking about this the other day. So you're so busy watching because Hulk is one of my favorite ones. So we're talking about Marvel. So you so busy watching what's one of them characters?
Spider-Man.
You watching Spider Man do his thing, right? And that's coming out, so I'm excited about that. So huge Marvel fan. You see Spider Man doing his thing, flying around the city with his web, whatever, hitting people with the web, hitting you like, man, I want to, like, bro, what? Why? You you green, you big, you can jump high, you be crushing stuff, you be tearing stuff up, bro. You great with what you're doing. Why you want to be Spider Man? And then you like, who me? And you don't even. And it's like, yeah, you. What you're doing, that's not normal. That's a superpower. And so sometimes going to the identity, you don't even realize you sitting on gold, just being who you are, and then with just some tweaks that you just need to make, and that'll be a part of the process of growing, like having a. Um, I'm pivoting just a little bit, but I'll tie it together. So, for example, you got to have a Mr. Miyagi in your life, and so, because for example, I went to a golf clinic, that because that's my I'm learning golf, and I went to a golf clinic last weekend, and I was getting Mr. Miyagi. It was an Asian guy, and we were there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and he was talking and educating us the whole time. People was getting itchy and ready to hit the just go grab the club and just start hitting balls. He's like, no, 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 no. We're not doing that first. We're not doing that first. There are some fundamental things that you need to know first before we get there, and it's gonna make your game easy, and you're gonna do it more effortlessly. And people like are confused on how you're doing it this way. And so what I'm getting at is you probably already do something well, and you're discounting what your superpower is. And sometimes maybe your Mr. Miyagi is a coach, maybe it's a mentor to help pull out what's already in you, but helping you realize it's there.
Man, that's real. You might need your master
Almost
splinter.
right, almost like, well, it's not a mirror, but like having a mirror and like look at you, like, man, you great. And so because think about it, Jordan had a Tim Grover, I think that's his name. Kobe used the same guy. Like, so they didn't do it on their own. When you are doing it by yourself, our bodies are naturally wired to stop short, to protect itself. Like in order to go to the brink of exhaustion and really get to that greatness for you, if you're saying that's something that's important to you, you got to get Mr. Miyagi. That's the only way you're gonna really not protect yourself from yourself. It's like, I know, I see what you're doing. You got a little bit more in the tank. Keep going. Hey, you about to stop short. And let me make it real. We done been at some point you done worked out. People done worked out or something. Like you was working out, doing a set, and you could have got a one or two more. You just stopped. But then you go work out with someone else, and you like, man, that was a good workout. And it's because y'all pushed each other, and you got them extra 2 to 3 reps that you would have never done by yourself. And you still might have had a pretty good workout. It's a difference, though. It's a
It
difference.
is.
So as we close with this segment, uh, in the chat, what's one skill you genuinely believe uh, that can't be automated? Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Now I will tell you that it's not algorithm friendly to go against the grain with AI. Just so you know, if anybody ever want to know that, it's not going to promote that. Now this one is interesting as we shifting gears, especially with us being two married men. But I think we still can speak to it because we were once single, and we'll have a unique perspective on it. If you found out today you'd be single for the next 5 years, would that actually scare you, or would some part of you be relieved?
That's a deep one.
But nearly so, obviously, it's men bashing women. I'm over. I'm oversimplifying it. It's a little bit more to it than that. Um, the crazy demands of women. Some unexpected. You got to have your standards, but some is just absolute. You're out of your mind. um, but I think this is something that I'm hearing more and more men say, I'd rather be single. And I'm just like, man, really? You know, um, that's not really, well, let me say, we as people could do what we want to do. Let me say that. So I can't tell people what to do and what not to do. So that's always think, hey, do you? But some of the reasoning and rationale, and this is just one topic, but when you think about it, people were like making fear-based uh survival, fear-based, the worst thing that could possibly happen. Like it's hard to be successful when you're coming from that place. It doesn't mean that you do not be intentional, be strategic, be focused, pay attention to, don't make up, don't overlook. If someone is giving you some red flags, don't overlook it because he handsome or she look good.
Right.
You know, like that's your fault. Outside looking in because I wasn't connected to the situation. I'm like, that was obvious. But was it though when you were in the midst of it? And on the other side, buddy whispered in your ear and you got a little warm and fuzzy and hey, he started talking in your ear, talking greasy in your ear, and you totally missed out. He ain't got no job. Ain't had a job in a while, so not just going through a cycle like you about to be the job, meaning why he about to come stay with you, and you gonna you gonna take care of him. I'm that those are like way out there examples, but you get my point. It's like there's always flags. Obviously, there's some parts where you can't hold certain things against people because life is gonna happen, but like overall you was focused on like superficial things to begin with. So that's what I've noticed a lot of time when things break down is you could usually flush out a superficial person because when you hadn't heard any character things that you're looking for and that's important to you, like what you're looking for in a woman, what you're looking for in a man, and you don't hear character things that are sustaining past the look good, which is important, you know, if that's, you know, you want to be attracted to your person. But so I'm gonna cue it up with, is the dating recession a men's problem, a culture problem, or both?
Oh, you said a
I know I
men's
came in
problem?
hot with that question. I know I came in hot with that question.
Man, the dating recession. Dang, it's a recession out there. So saying like as in men choosing not to, not just they can't. Mm, man, I don't know because I'm gonna speak towards marriage. Man, it's what they say. It costs to be the boss. Man, it's one of those things. It sounds good and it is good. But what I'm learning now is like I think part of manhood is not just seeking out what can the experience get you, but like seeking out why do you
Mm,
deserve that experience? How do you pay for that experience and pay to keep that experience? Like you when you get a gun, you got to go through certain licensures and classes, and you got to keep it registered. You don't just oh I want a gun, let me
keep
go
it
get a
clean. You got
gun
to
because I
keep
want to be
cleaning it.
protected.
You got to keep cleaning the gun because
Mm-hmm.
when you need it, it'll jam up on you if you ain't cleaned it and you know forever.
Mm-hmm. Gotta get safe, all that. You don't just so why would you treat if that's how we treat an inanimate object, why would you treat a woman differently? Like and this is, this is somebody who's going to be bringing in your children. At the very least, this is somebody who's going to be sharing the same bed and having in the same room. And so to your point, man, like before you even I think to me, before you even get to the woman, like it's so much character work. Because to your point, that's where I think that wanting to eject out of the relationship may come from. It's because you didn't come into the
Mm,
relationship from a healthy perspective in the first place. Maybe you did it because it made you feel good. You liked being around her. I know it's easy. I'm the man. She need me. No, you might have paid for the dates, but you liked having her there too. You didn't want to be there solo. You either couldn't or didn't want to be solo. I'm not judging. We've all been there. I mean, this is something we able to talk about. This is a safe space for men. The doors are closed. The point is, I guess we're gonna talk to two different groups. The groups of men that either have that you're not married yet, but you're thinking about it. You dating, and then there's the groups of men that's already married, and you're like, dang, like this ain't all I signed up for. The honeymoon phase is over. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? It's getting rough. You know what I'm saying? Look within. I'm gonna say that to both groups. Look within. Like
Mm.
If there's problems in your household, you do not benefit from starting external first. Like, man, your house is so dirty. What's going on? Like, no, you is dirtying up the house. I'm not blaming you, but I'm putting the power back in your hands to say, there's a situation. I don't like the way it's going, or I don't, to the man that's not doing it yet. I'm scared. I don't want to get into a bad situation. You don't have to. One thing I love
Mm,
about relationships is that it's a choice. In those toughest moments, I always remind myself, anybody, no one's like the same thing with a job, with a W-2. No one's
yeah.
holding no one's holding a weapon to your head and saying, "Show up to work today. You better show up
Right.
to work, or else we coming to get you." No, you can
Right.
quit. You can also the
Yeah.
same way you. So it's easy to quit. I think it's hard to show up. So you just got to figure out as a man. When I say go inside, I know it's easy. Oh yeah, whatever. When I say go inside yourself and figure out what's worth showing up for. What do you want to show up for?
Mm,
And just start there.
that's good. That's good. That sounds like some little wisdom there from the Gen Z. From Gen Z. Um, all I know is we can't to what you said, like too much is given, much is required. And you summed it up perfectly. It costs to be the boss. As men, we are tasked with being leaders, not the other way around, despite what society is telling you. And so one of the costs is when things aren't going right, even if it's not fully from you.
Say that again. Just say it one more time.
If things aren't going right, and even if it's not necessarily you being an initiator, if things aren't going right, as the
Hallelujah.
as the leader, this is how it is. When things going right, hey, you celebrate the team. You give the team the kudos and all of that. When things aren't when things aren't going right,
Fire the coach.
that's what usually happens. And so, what can I do to improve my team?
Oh, I like that.
Because you said something earlier. You don't want to outsource that. You how do you put, and all it is just framing so you could put the power back in your hands. And as a leader, even if it's okay, it's not me, but it's not a but if you are together with someone and you like, you know what, I don't want to get into a back and forth thing because that's just not productive. Okay, I'm noticing. I see that there. It's really just getting into critical thinking. I see a problem. I might be pissed. I might be annoyed that it's happening because I'm not the one that's initiating. And this is really a pain in my, you know what? Just because I'm like, why you just can't do what you need to do? It might be a teachable moment. It might be a moment where there are some things surfacing up from childhood, background, upbringing, outside influences. And so you have a choice to make as a leader. Do you just let the person keep acting out, or and then you just frustrated and you just not happy, or not acting out, just not participating in anything? We as people do think we sometimes repeat patterns that we saw growing up. We have a lot of stuff going on in our head as human beings, as humans. And sometimes we just need therapy, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in your head that you almost gotta work to get dump that stuff out so you can start laying the path of like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, and so sometimes you have to slow down and speed up. And sometimes we just want to keep speeding and just pushing stuff under the rug, not addressing things, not building conflict resolution skills properly, where now you just yelling at each other. That's not helpful at all. Maybe you easily tempered, where you just easily get triggered. You or your lady, that none of that stuff is helpful. And then it's almost like, hey, we're on the same team. Do you want to get better? Yes or no? Yes. Do I want to get better? Yes or yes, yes. Yes or no? Yes. Hey, as long as you got the yes from both people, genuine yeses now, not like you just saying yes and you're not really wanting to put in the work. And then as the man, it's your job to put y'all in position to get to work. And meaning get to work in terms of maybe that's y'all need to do therapy together. Hey, maybe you are exploring vetting this person out for marriage because you're the man, so you usually gonna be the one that's gonna ask. Take a class together. Take a saving your marriage before it starts class. Get to learn more about each other. Like slow down. Like slow down to get to understand each other. Understand the backgrounds, the upbringings. How was your parents with money? How was your parents and your upbringing? What did you see and experience with money? What was your parents' relationship with money? And then ask like on both sides. Uh to present day, how are you with your money? And it's funny how you start seeing some similarities, and it might not be to the degree of what you saw growing up, but there's probably a little remnants of like doing good. You have a setback because of a bad decision you made, and so it's still in you, and that's okay. But the biggest thing is same team, same dream, and so as leaders, you have to cast a vision. If you have to cast a vision and work to help the team understand what the vision is and what their role is in that vision and how it benefits them. Even husband, wife, everybody want to return on their investment. Maybe you're not where you want to be and she taking a chance on you. That's a huge chance that she taking, bro. To leave her mother and her father and they give her away to you, for someone to trust your vision and direction, and especially if she want to have kids, like they have a shorter window that they working with. So, bro, you got to get busy. I mean, at least have a plan that y'all like. Even I always joke and laugh. I say, even if y'all building our key of marriage, at least like cast out like, hey, boo, this is where we going. Just so you know, we starting a Kia, but we going here, and we just gonna work that thing. We just gonna and then we gonna keep looking back like, oh man, progress is happening, and you just keep going and living life and enjoying each other. um Sounds easy, I get it, there's a lot of moving things, but like I always say, you only need one, the right one, as you vet now. And sometimes don't ignore the red flag. Allow a person to be who they are. Don't, because you should thank them when they show you who they are. Thank them, because that now that you have a decision to make. And what happens is things are really just very pretty simple. It's just that when you start adding emotions into it, hey, y'all start smashing. Both of y'all overlooking stuff, and both of y'all probably knew neither one of y'all was a fit for each other, but y'all just kind of overlooked it and just like, oh well, we love each other, but not compatible at all in terms of don't have the same, like, you want to be the leader, she want to kind of do her own thing. That ain't gonna work. Or you not a leader and she grew up in a family that let the man lead, but like don't blindly follow if there is no vision casted. Like, because I mean, I'm not a female, so I can't really think through that. Like, I can't imagine having to be on the other side of like having to follow, like in hoping the person is taking us in the right direction. So I'll land it by saying what you said, it costs to be the boss. And we're not even talking about money. That's a part of it. But it's time, effort, energy, planning, intentionality, being serious. Even when things aren't going the way it's supposed to go, you don't. Ooh, I almost said something crazy. I almost said something crazy. You just stay on the complaining side, and then you don't ever put your spouse and yourself in the position to start working on those things. You just bitching and complaining, and you stay in that purgatory space, and you didn't turn it to the female. We give female grace with the complaining and all that because that, I mean, females are emotional. They have periods, all that. I'm saying it like that. I mean, that's just comes with it. And so we're different, and that's okay. And sometimes men are rejecting what a man is, and it just come with it. It's tough, but I like it. I love it. And so, but you got to have brothers around you to help you to learn to like it and love it and find your way and y'all hold each other accountable. And sometimes there will be tough calls that has to be made. But what I've noticed is most of the time when it I'll end with this. In your heart of hearts, when you look yourself in the mirror, did you do everything that you could do? And most times the answer is no.
That's real. Man, you know, you said a word that really resonated, like understanding. Like I've been listening to some books about parenthood. I ain't planning on becoming one anytime soon, but I don't know. I think that my takeaways is that when you walk around and sometimes you're interacting with the person, sometimes you're interacting with their inner child. And so that book's like,
Fact.
oh, you know what I'm
That's deep.
saying?
Yeah. Oh, that's deep right there. Wow.
And
Wow.
relationships is the same way. Not saying your partner's a kid, but y'all both have moments where that wasn't you talking for real. That was your inner person reacting. And so to your point, when you just start just understanding, just learn how to, and that's deep as a kid. Do you feel like as a kid, do you feel like either one or both of your parents did either fail to or just didn't care to understand you? Did they even try? And that's why I'm trying to give grace to the men. I can understand why some of the men would be listening and be like, why do I need to know all this stuff? I'm just gonna show her the way. No. You know what I'm saying? That no, do not do that. Like I get how that's like intoxicating, like, no, but if I know the way, let me just show her. Nah, that's part of that's what being in a relationship is. You're signing up to understand and love this person, not just be their Yoda. They can go sign up for a coach if they want a coach. They signed up for a husband. So
Yeah. Hey man. Hey, drop a comment in the chat. If you agree, you don't agree, we way off. Hey, we welcome it all. But the one thing is we just want to see each other get better. That's what brotherhood is. Uh, and support each other as we're doing it. Okay, so I wasn't gonna cover this segment because we're getting close on time, but I'm gonna cover it. Maybe we make it a little shorter. We'll see. Name one man in your life who has no idea what you're actually dealing with financially right now.
shit, I would say all of them. That knows or doesn't know. The
Doesn't
ones that
matter.
do, the ones that do know, Chase, Mr. Chase, and Mr. What you call it, and Morgan. That's who knows. But in turn, who doesn't know? Yeah, I mean, I'll say they're my real people in my life. Except, in my wife, we know. But outside
Yeah.
of that, I don't really talk about. To your point, I don't talk to my finances with anybody. I don't really seek out coaching, or even just like on a peer level, just with friends. I don't really discuss it. It's almost like how growing up money was taboo. I damn near still treat it that way.
Yeah, so that's something that you've brought into your life and that you're still carrying on that pattern. Let me say it that way. Why?
I don't know. I never thought it was a different way. I ain't gonna use that excuse, but I'm just trying to think like, I don't know. Cause I mean, recently, like I said, I've picked up debt. So I'm a little ashamed of that. But even before that, I just kind of just kept it up here. Just like, okay, I got it. I'm gonna figure it out. Um, I don't know. It's like a muscle that had never been even like exercised before. I never even thought to like use that muscle or like go to.
Yeah. And maybe I could have asked a different question. Maybe it was, is there a man in your life who has no idea what you're actually dealing with financially? Like if you were kind of like if you kind of navigating something, so you probably took it that way, but just interpret it that way. But so just kind of reframing that a little bit, um, probably doesn't change your answer. And what I just like, I wonder, do you think that there's a connection between how work and money is so wrapped up into our identities as men that we've allowed it to be? Um, because the other thing that what it makes me think about is if a friend, if you had a friend to talk about it. No, no, no. Before I go there, wait. Now I'm thinking about before I go there, what would it cost you to tell one friend the real number this week around your credit card debt that you got right now? Like me asking you that question, what what emotion come up for you where you're like, oh, I could do that, or I don't know, like for you when I just asked you that question, what emotions came up for you?
For me, the actual saying of the number is it doesn't even hurt. It's what to me what the hesitation comes in is, but it doesn't help. I don't know. It's like that. You trying to rationalize it. Like, why do it if it doesn't help? You're trying to find some way to make it. Like I'm not seeking out advice, so why even bring it up?
That's fair. My comeback to that is my rebuttal to that is, but you got in credit card debt. And so if you had not ever, you're not out just out here talking about, hey man, this is what I made, this is what I got, this is my credit card. It's not that. It's like, so we're speaking on individuals that you like, I trust them. And we talk about this together because I know you may have some insight. You might have some insight that I don't have. And I need some help. Hey, I messed up. Da, da, da. And maybe it's a, I don't know, a mentor. I don't know, maybe a coach or something. And so I'm saying friend, but it could be like a male figure coach or mentor in that space as well. So it's strange how strange. We'll sometimes share things with strangers that we won't share with our friends, and so I do understand that sometimes having a safe space is important. Um, but why isn't it a safe space? Do you feel like you're gonna be judged? Like,
I think it's partly the safe space, but I think it's partly just kind of like the muscle analogy. It's almost like you just think of it as just you almost just accept it as this is just something you do solo. Like the same way I
mm,
brush my teeth solo. I just do this on my own. Like you don't even think about getting help. You don't even think about going to somebody with your resume versus, dude, those people that will look at it for you as a friend or pay people. Nah, but I'm sure you've seen trash resumes where you're like, you didn't go to nobody's help for this. You didn't even ask a friend to look at this and took 2 minutes. But it's like they not think about it that way. There's so much. Part of it is shame, but part of it is I don't.
mm,
I don't. I'm just thinking like to this specific question about money, like, and you got me thinking, like, because what does it mean to really trust? How can you trust? And I'm not talking about the way you trust strangers or trust your neighbors, but to your point, how do you build a wolf pack or trust? Have a trusted circle if y'all don't got to know everybody's bank account, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
how can I really trust them if I don't even know how you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Money is definitely personal. What they say, personal finance. So my last question on this topic: if a friend told you the truth about them struggling about their finances, would you actually know what to do with it? Now, going to what you're saying.
I would just listen. The old me would probably launch into, but bro, so what you want to do? Maybe we could do this, and that. But now, honestly, I would just listen. I would just be like, first of all, thanks for sharing that with me. Appreciate you sharing that. No, that wasn't easy. But since you shared it, where do you want to go with it from here? What caused you to share it? That's probably how I would go with it. Just
Yeah, that's wisdom right there. What I've learned is you getting the invitation. Sometimes being able to categorize the situation that's happening in buckets of, okay, are you sharing with me because you looking for some help, or are you just sharing it with me because you just need to talk to somebody to get it out your system? And so just kind of calibrating to understand that, because what you realize sometimes people just venting. They're not even really looking for a solution. And we talk about money, but I've seen it in other areas, and to me in my head it's so simple, but it's not, because the person is when a person has their mind made up on something and they're in that stream of thought right now, they're on a current, they're on, how when you listening to the radio, I don't really listen to the radio, but you'll get the analogy. Whenever you change in the channel, say like for me, we got to rent a car. So, you trying to figure out, all right, what we going to listen to moving. Most times people just connect to their phone and just put it on YouTube or iTunes, some whatever. But let's just stay with me. Twisting the knob, one channel, and that's a frequency, right? A frequency signal being sent. Well, the person is sometimes when the person is venting, they navigating something and they're on that frequency of the problem. The solution is a totally different frequency, another radio station. That's a whole different station, a frequency. And so sometimes what happens is, you've probably seen it, where someone is talking about something, you're like, in your head, you're like, it's easy. Just go get somebody help. Like, but it's not just that easy, because they're on the frequency of the problem, where they're just focusing on the problem. You're on the frequency of the solution, is because you don't have any emotional connection or nothing. It's not your situation. So you can objectively observe what's happening. And so you like, man, all right, all right, I appreciate you sharing with me. Yeah, because in my head, I'll start to like process, like, oh yeah, they are not interested in, and you might even test. Well, have you considered? Oh no, that ain't gonna work. And you like, I'm just tired, and you just like, oh, okay. You're not even looking for a solution, because that's, in order to even make it to the solution frequency, you have to want a solution versus fighting for your limitations. And so, but anyway, I just thought I would bounce that off of you, just to like, man, why we don't be, I ain't saying like pull up your phone and grab your bank account and be like, hey bro, look, I ain't saying that, but just more conversations about money. Money. Um, I don't know. Random.
That's that's
In the
real.
chat, drop in the chat. Why, man? Why as men we don't be keeping it real with our brothers, man? Like, hey, man, I'm struggling, man. It's rough right now. Um, Even if it's just getting some words of encouragement, the words of encouragement, and just you not isolating by yourself, navigating this. So tell one friend. I'm gonna challenge the chat in the comments. What's one friend that you could tell? And you don't have to be struggling. You could be like, hey man, I just wanted to, say, hey, even if you're just opening up the door, because maybe it might come off weird. You like, hey Ken, I want to talk about money, and you like, okay, like what you got? So it can be weird or something. I don't know, but but if it's your boy, it's your boy, so you don't have to be weird about it. But just like, hey man, I want us to start talking about money more, man. Of maybe it's goals that we're working towards. Maybe it's I want a certain amount in my investment account, or I don't know, whatever it is. Just moving past the taboo of you don't talk about money. Like if you don't talk about money, how you gonna have money? So in the chat, what's one person that you're gonna reach out to, just comment if you like, man, I'm not doing that. I ain't telling people my business. Hey, I can't tell people all my business now. So hey, nah, I get it. All right, so you already know. So we always got the Barney Code lightning round. I still haven't figured out how I want to frame it up, but we got the Barney Code lightning round. So what's something you've written off as too late for me that you're not actually sure is true?
Some too late for me. Some I've been actually looking to get into. I would say sports. You're like,
Okay.
oh, I gotta do high school or I gotta start as a youngin, but like, there's a lot of stuff that you can start as a 20-year-old. I'm not saying I can make it to the league, or go pro, but
Yeah, yeah.
there's a lot of levels in between.
Okay. All right. Get your athletic game on. Know you've been consistently working out. All right, cool. Do your thing. Okay, next. If your job disappeared tomorrow, what's the first thing you do?
That's a good question. First thing I would
Yeah.
do is I'd hop on the market, honestly. Hop on the market, take my receipts, and now I'm gonna give you the real answer. I'm not even because the first day, I'm not even gonna do nothing for real. I'm just gonna probably eat some ice cream, take it easy, and just take me a day. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got my first PTO. I'm sorry, I'm gonna give myself my first day of PTO. Then that second day, I'm getting right back to it. You know what I'm saying? I got all my receipts and my brag book stacked up. I'm just gonna be reaching out to the recruiters that have been reaching out to me and work my way backwards.
All right, got another one for you. Are you actively dating your girl now? Be honest, not aspirational. Are
Mm.
you still whining and dining what you did to get her, or are you just want the keeper?
Nah, that's a good question, man. So that's something that we have been, I would say, in the past couple months, we revamped our date night system. I'll put it like that. And so because it's so much pressure that comes with date night, especially if you're the planner, and so especially if you're consistently the planner, and so sometimes it's about control and pressure, and you come in with your expectations on how you think it should be. But like we said all throughout the video, just communicate and understand, and you'll be surprised. So now we have a system now to where we alternate whoever's planning, but whoever's planning, the other person, their role is only to appreciate, not to co-plan, not to, you just the appreciator. And that's a role in and of itself. So we
Yeah,
are
no,
loving
that's
that model so far.
okay. How long y'all been doing it?
I say like 2 months, I would say.
Yeah. And so, did y'all have date nights prior to that?
We had date nights prior to that, but it was a lot less structured. And actually, the problem that we were running into is that we weren't having clean cutoffs into solo time, especially on the weekends. And so
Mm,
this helped us almost pull it back because we were almost saying, "Damn, we spend too much time together. We gotta have our individual time." Like, you know what I'm saying?
that's good. That's actually really good. That's a thing, man. That's actually really good. That's really good. Cause love my wife to death, but she'll max me out. But she does good too because she she got friends and she do her own thing too. But to your point, the lines do get blurred. So like really like our date nights on Friday nights, it's always been that way. And if we miss, then we'll just shift it to another day. Like we got to travel. And even still, if we got to travel, we'll usually just carve out some time in the day where we kind of just duck off somewhere, whether we go grab something to eat, go grab coffee, check, even if it's like a quick check in. And so we're super consistent with it. But yeah, no, that's, yeah. Date night is really important. My last one for you, I got a couple more, but let me see if there was one. Really wrong about time and money. Oh, yeah. What's one thing your generation got completely wrong about timing, money, career, and relationships? It could be either
Oh
any of them
man,
from a Gen Z perspective.
I would say something that we get wrong about relationships is that we get too much into this men versus women stuff. Like we talk about the man, we talk about the CIA, we talk about the systemic this and that. That's systemic. Getting this, why we shouldn't be designed. You think cavemen were going men versus women? Man, this cave women tripping. Man, they need to light the cave fire better. Man, they just living together, working together. That's how we got here in the first place. So,
Okay. Last one. What's a financial number you've never said out loud to anyone?
ooh, I like that.
Like a target. It can be a
I'm
target
I'm
that you
I'm,
work
I'm, I'm gonna give a target, and I don't know if
net
I'm gonna
worth.
pull this. This is a target that I'm targeting. I'm targeting it by the age of 35. I wanted to bring in $2 million a year. I've only shared that with my wife, but people have it now.
There you go. There you go. Speak it, believe it, receive it. All right. So as we close, what's the Barney code of the day?
Barney code of the day: understand yourself, understand those around you, and watch your life improve.
Mm, love it. In terms of the Barney code of the day that I want to share, have a vision, have a dream for your relationship. If you're in a relationship, I'm married. So if you're married or you would aspire to be married and you're feeling some pressure from society of listening to men that maybe it didn't work out for them, hey, there's always two sides to every story. That doesn't have to be your story. Focus on how to make it work for you versus this won't work. Because if you're starting in a losing position already, you've already lost with that mentality. Hey, until the next episode, as y'all already know, is for us is mission first, money second, brotherhood always, and we are out.